Hey riders, Eric from Ride Adventure here with the long anticipated KTM 790 Adventure, the standard version. Had a few days getting to know this bike so far. Great performance, I love riding it. It's good for on-road, good for off-road. This particular one is in that lower seat height category, so it fits in with the BMW F750 GS and the Suzuki V-Strom and Honda CB500X, but I still enjoy riding a lot, so let's go for a ride and check it out. All right, here we go. Let's get on this thing. Let's, instead of standing here looking at the bike, why not actually get on it and go for a little ride? So yeah, first things I'm feeling as I get on this bike, KTM 790 Adventure, is that they put a seat on it that I like from the factory. You know, a lot of manufacturers are, can I say, guilty of putting too soft of a seat on, and I've been told this, that they put a soft seat on because it feels good in the showroom and for your possible 15-minute test ride. But the truth is that super soft seat, once you kind of get into it for a long day's ride, softness pounding away on those tissues and your butt, you know, it's not as good as actually using your sit bones for long durations like that. That's why we can sit comfortably on like a if you're a bicycle rider and you sit on a good hard seat like that, a good firm seat that allows your sit bones to be put into use anyway, that's a great seat to me. So, and in general, the bike feels just kind of firm, like all the way around. Like, so there's the suspension that's not very thoroughly adjustable, but it's a progressive suspension system with a rear adjustable preload, and it does quite well for not being adjustable. Firm is sort of the feel of the bike, and then it comes down to the steering as well, where it's got the steering stabilizer, which adds to kind of a stiff feeling, I guess you could say. Another neat feeling I like about this bike is that the throttle is, okay, you got throttle by wire, which on a lot of bikes can be too twitchy. You know, the Africa Twin, I like how crisp it is on some bikes, and it is that sort of quick, exact, precise response that I do enjoy, but it can be twitchy, especially like in a standing position. I don't want to be twitchy. I want to be smooth on, you know, that's the name of the game, maintaining traction and come out of slippery situations smooth and everything. You want a smooth uptake of your power. You don't want to have any jerkiness whatsoever. And again, so that is particularly true in a standing position where you're possibly a little more likely to jerk the throttle a little bit. And so, you know, another thing I like about this bike, the KTM, is just the agility. The feeling is right there. It feels like a light bike. It feels like a good low center of gravity. It feels athletic. It feels nimble. You know, this is kind of simple gravel road here. There's not much to it. It feels like, you know, if you do want to take your luggage off and head out into more of a single track situation, you could, you know, with this bike, if you're able to stand over it well enough and feel comfortable. It's, you know, not a single track bike. It's a twin cylinder beast of a machine, but it's still, you know, it's not as big and sloshy and clunky and lunky as some of the bigger cruiser type 1200cc plus adventure bikes that are out there. And then of course there's the topic of the engine, and this is where I think this is the most exciting bike in this sort of mid-weight, low seat category of these adventure bikes, is that when you do have an opportunity to let this engine go a little bit, let's just say it's a KTM engine, and it really wants to go. I am not going to do too much of that where we are, but yeah, 95 horsepower on a roughly 460 pound bike. That's a great power to weight ratio. It really jumps. Overall, I think keeping that in mind, that this is a standard version of the 790 Adventure, not the taller R version. This is maybe the perfect bike for somebody who isn't totally budget conscious, but, well, you know, doesn't mind spending, you know, to get the top end high performance machine on, like, you know, some more modestly priced bikes that don't have the power and all the features and the electronics and stuff like that. But like, this is a bike that lets you steer with the rear end when you've got the traction control turned off. Yeah, it's for that rider that
you don't feel comfortable standing over the bigger bikes, the taller bikes. You don't need something that's quite so heavy. You can still put a passenger on the back of this thing and do very well. You can carry lots of luggage. So it does fit into that sort of big adventure bike category, but without being the behemoth that like something like an R1200 GS Adventure or a 1200 Super Tenere, those bigger, heavier bikes. All around great bike. We're so excited to have this KTM now in operation. Let's see, we've got them running in Colombia, here in Oregon as well.
Outstanding, just like every ride so far on KTM 790 Adventure, this long anticipated bike that we've been hearing rumors about for years has finally come out, and I'm excited to be on it because it does fit into that mid-range, mid-weight category. Perfect for big trips, still fun. The key word coming to mind is agility. It still bounces around on the trails just like you want it to, and it's fun in the twisties and sweepers. So hats off, thumbs up to KTM. Nice job with this bike, and I'm gonna go out and ride some more. We're gonna put more of these into our rental operations and hope to see you out here riding with us. So enjoy when you do.